Hey guys, it's MarkDavid here, and I'm here to do a review on Respect, the new Aretha Franklin biopic. Before we get started, consider subscribing. I like to do movie reviews and occasionally do some unboxings of the Blu-rays that I buy. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so Respect is obviously a biopic of Aretha Franklin, starring Jennifer Hudson, and it just shows how she went from being a little girl at her dad's choir singing to becoming a huge international sensation. The movie is directed by Liesl Tommy, and it's out in theaters this Friday, August 13th. I absolutely love how this film starts. In the beginning, we're treated to a young Aretha Franklin, portrayed by Sky Dakota Turner, and she does a phenomenal job portraying a young Aretha. And I love how the film establishes her connection and relationship with her parents in the beginning, because it sets the tone for the rest of the film within the family aspect.
How is Aretha doing?
Aretha's doing alright.
Just alright. Singing is sacred, and you shouldn't do it just because somebody wants you to. What's most important is that you are treated with dignity and respect.
I personally fell in love with the relationship between her and her mother. I thought it was beautiful, very warm and tender, and like you can feel the love and connection jumping out through the screen in the beginning of the film. It's very heartwarming, absolutely wonderful. Shortly after the beginning, we get a time skip, and we're introduced to Jennifer Hudson as Aretha, which honestly, she was born to play this part. Like, she is amazing. Her portrayal of the character, her characteristics, the way she talks, moves, like, she just did a phenomenal job portraying Aretha Franklin. One of the best aspects of this film is how they show Aretha working on her music and creating her music. I think it was absolutely magical the way they show the process of her creating her music, reworking some songs.
Okay.
Find out what it means to me.
You really like it?
We love it.
Riri.
Riri.
And then shortly after, we're treated to a live performance of the song. So obviously we get a little tease of it while they're making the music and the song, and then bam, we're thrown into like a performance that she had done, and we get the full blown out song, and it's just an amazing experience overall.
I got a single by this new chick named Aretha Franklin.
While I do like some aspects of the film, my biggest complaint for it was that it's too long. It goes on for 2.5 hours, and it doesn't help that 90% of the story is showing the negative side of Aretha Franklin's life. Like, no joke, 90% of the movie is just her bad aspects in life. Like, I thought they should have done a better job portraying the negative and positive, like balancing it out, but it's like all negative. And it was honestly sad because Aretha is such an iconic person. Obviously, she was involved in the civil rights movement, which they do tease in this film, but that's something huge that would have helped the film outweigh the negatives. But yeah, like, a lot of the film is spending its time showing her get mistreated by her family, her friends, her boyfriend, husband, and other people. And it's just like, it was kind of hard to watch because I personally love Aretha Franklin and her music, so seeing just almost 2.5 hours of a movie being devoted to just the negative aspects of her life was pretty sad, because I mean, you can't disrespect a legend like that. I think they should have did a better job balancing out the negative and the positive. I'm not saying that the whole film should have been positive, because obviously everyone's life, there's always ups and downs, but to portray her life as just downhill the whole time was kind of weird. And it doesn't help that they ended the movie they ended the movie on a high note, don't get me wrong, but it was kind of whack the way they did it, because she gets out of all this negative stuff in her life and they ended in the high note, but then they cut the film and they start doing those little texts on the screen where they're like, oh, and a few years later she ended up creating a record who sold the most out of all her records. She went on to do this and this, and they're just making you read little inserts of her life going forward. But it's just like, why didn't you just film that? Like, it would have been so cool to see more positive stuff in the film about her. And it was also weird that the movie only focuses on the first like third of her life. Like, it does not go that far into her life. It's like it ends when she's like in her 30s, I think. But a lot of the film is very, very shocking to see, because like I said, there's a lot of negative in the film. Anyway, in my opinion, I think the movie should have shown a little bit more respect to Aretha Franklin by balancing the negatives with more positives in the film. But honestly, it's still a good watch. Even though if it's too long and more towards the negative side of her life, I think Jennifer Hudson did an amazing job portraying her, and her voice is just beautiful with the songs. Like, it was just amazing to see such a great performance coming from Jennifer Hudson, because she clearly respects and loves Aretha Franklin. And if you didn't know, Aretha Franklin had always said that she wanted Jennifer Hudson to play her in a movie. So she was definitely born for this role. Overall, I think Respect is a 5 out of 10 for me. It's not a super bad film, and it's not as amazing as I thought it would be, but I would still recommend watching it if you like Aretha Franklin or Jennifer Hudson, because you're still going to be treated to quite a few good moments in the film. But yeah, let me know if you watched the film, if you plan on watching it. If you did watch it, comment down below and let me know what you thought. And don't forget to follow my social medias, link in the bio. Thank you.